Hello guys, how are you doing on this fantastic day? Um, I will make a short video here of the daily recap of the daily scoreboard, which I normally do on the Substack. But given it is weekend, we are releasing this on YouTube. And yeah, daily updates very quickly, 10 minutes, just to see if anything major has happened. And boy, did we get some major moves in the markets this Friday on the backbone of a very weak job non-farm payroll. It seems like people are waking up to the fact that the economy is not so great. And yeah, let's dive into it, guys, here. But first, please follow me here on YouTube. Highly appreciated. And on X, as if you are on X, and if you want the daily updates on videos, Substack is the place to be. Cool. Let's do silver first. Silver had some high hopes going into the day because the prior day we actually broke and we started to basically stay above our expanding wedge here. But then that was all undone this Friday, just completely selling off together with the entire markets. Double bottom here potentially, bullish RSI. So we shall see. But again, we still have a potential target of roughly 25 down here, 26.25, depending on how we get there if things get really disorderly. And how do we get that? The big purple expanding formation here, and that would be the third impulse, the first, the second, the third. So that is still open, especially again with today's very negative short-term price movement. Gold also had a test of its previous all-time high here. You can see it tried and then boom, collapsed together with the entire markets. This is a huge rejection, by the way. So this is an early warning that we could potentially see lower gold here. Again, as long as we hold the blue zone here at 2,470 roughly, it's all good. But again, just a little bit of a warning here. That's a lot of momentum that needs to be undone. The silver to gold ratio, you know why that is important. If we start to see some spikes here, that's very bad for the entire markets. Again, details on this can be found on the Substack. We basically tagged it here at roughly 90, getting above 90. Then there's a lot of pain incoming for the markets. The reason is, if we zoom out here, major lovely breakdown. I loved everything about that. And then we retested it, and then we blasted straight through to the other side, all the way down again, and then we are basically here. So it could be that we're starting to see some moves here. And when we see these spikes in the ratio, that is 2020, things were really bad. This is 08, really bad. So could we be in a period where the gold to silver ratio is spiking and that, overall markets is going to be in a lot of pain? Yeah, potentially. We haven't broken out yet, but just keep that in mind. The Dixie here initially dropped down heavily on the non-farm payroll back to roughly the lows from, the lows from over here. Then it rallied again. That's also why you saw gold and silver come down hard, by the way. So it needs to hold roughly 100 here in the Dixie. I think we will get below in the long run, but definitely we are getting, if you zoom out here on the weekly, a lot of selling, and we are getting what I think will be some sideways action going into potentially into the election in the US. Bitcoin here, we will go to the 2 hourly. You can see initially also dropped there on the non-farm payroll. Overall, again, if you zoom out here just a bit here, just to go a little bit longer term, expanding wedge here, and we need to regain. Again, you can see here that we are making lower highs and lower lows. So again, we need to regain, and I'm not completely long-term bullish until we clear roughly 70 here. But again, the moving average, the mixed moving average is starting to come down, so it needs to get things going here. I don't care what anyone else say. Crypto here is very fragile. where we speak, and it needs to undo that. The QQQ, yep, sold off 2.8%. That's a lot. That's a lot when it comes to the Qs. AI is getting killed. Measured move, if we are to go the 100% measured move, is 400 roughly. So almost aligning up with the low here would make sense. Yeah, it's short-term bearish. Daily, I wouldn't say bearish just yet, but again, we are definitely, you know, seeing a lot of volatility, and you have a neckline just across here, potentially. So if that's the case, if that plays out, we can measure it and see where we are maybe going. This is done very quickly, by the way, so don't take it, you know, 100% for granted. But again, we could see 360 on the Qs if that's the case. We shall see. Definitely a rough day yesterday. Oil did break down here from our 2-year wedge pattern, coming down all over bearish. Short term, again, momentum is coming off a little bit. I could see a move for the big retest. That's where things are getting really exciting. What happens there? Do we test and go lower, which is the highest probability, or do we test and then we come up again? The retest is always where we confirm a breakdown, and I think we don't have had that on the daily timeframes. The GDX here, yes, getting killed again with the entire markets. Long term, still okay. These patterns here is a little bit difficult or a little bit iffy. But yeah, down 2.7% yesterday. Also a big one here. Same goes for the SILJ, down 3%. Silver getting sold 3%, so that's, you know, to be expected. Still within a range for the past 6 months or so, roughly range, right? So nothing major to report, even though we're down 3%. That's never a good thing. Spot price is still holding on. The uranium spot price is still at our inflection point. If we spike here, uranium will do extremely well. Yes, you will be laughing. I know 2024 has been really, really bad for the miners. However, if we start to come down, and that's, again, there will be tons of more pain coming ahead for the miners. So URNM, the 2-hourly time frame, we will go back to. Yep, we are still in a downtrend. Everything is coming down. The mixed moving average, golden downtrend, still bear flagging here. We broke the bear flag, and now we are at a tiny undercut, tiny for now at least. I'm not saying that this is the end of the move, but again, big double bottom here on the 2-hourly. Finally, some bullish divergence. So we shall see if that is okay. We have the first, second, third wave, fourth, and then depending on how low we go, right, the fifth wave should be stopping somewhere around here. Again, I say should be because if the overall markets and oil keeps puking, I mean, that's going to be difficult to project, really. The 10-year is sitting at double bottom here, potentially. Bullish divergence. But again, if we start to lose that, you know, that's not great for the rates. It dropped only, I say only, to 0.5%. But the big breakdown has happened. The big breakdown was here. And yeah. Palladium down 3.5%. Still within the blue wedge. Still nothing to report, really. Hopefully we make the high low here and then we have a chance. But again, until we resolve to the upside of that blue one, I mean, it doesn't, the price action doesn't really matter. The 2-hourly here, you can see we had a slight uptrend, the mixed moving average, and then it's rolling over. Now we're in a downtrend on the 2-hourly. So platinum held up somewhat well, 0.5% down. But again, we still need to get above at least 1,000, in my opinion. It could start at 950. But again, overall, nothing to report here, really. Still in a 2-hourly. You can see here downward price action here. So again, I will not go into much detail because nothing is really happening. 1.5% for copper, downtrend intact, lower lows, potentially lower highs. So we still had a huge bounce off that $4, which we need to hold. But yeah. Gas here, this is the Dutch one, looks really bullish. Again, we're waiting to resolve this bull flag, should hopefully resolve to the upside. Then it will be extremely bullish for gas because we have the downtrend over here coming down, and then we have the sideways action, and then finally we can break to the upside. You could argue that this is the 1, 2, 3, 4. You need a fourth, and then you can go to have the full count ready. But we shall see here for gas, roughly flat. Coal also up roughly 0.4%. A little bit of buying here into the end of the day here, and we are excited but not bullish. We need to get above here. When we do, I mean, that's when coal finally could see some upside. You can see here zooming out, it had a huge rally in 2020, huge bear market, sideways action, and then we can finally go to the upside. So breaking 153, 154 maybe, is extremely bullish for coal. And you should be, again, my opinion, be looking into investing into coal at that point in time. Always do your own due diligence, of course. What I do here is just my views, and again, right or wrong, this is how I see it. So that's it, guys. The daily scoreboard, which is normally done on the Substack. So again, if you want these, follow me there, guys. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the weather if you are in Europe. I think the entire Europe is extremely hot right now. At least it is in Denmark. We are in September, and we have, I think, 25, 26, 27 degrees Celsius. That's a lot for this late into the year. So I am going to go and enjoy that. Have a great day, guys. It's been a pleasure as always. Cheers, guys. Bye.